Hey little witches, Justina here, calling all practical magic fans and music lovers. This fall, get ready for something truly spellbinding from the Stinas. Christina and I started Magnolia Street podcast as a way to share our original music inspired by our favorite movie, Practical Magic. We've been hard at work in the recording studio since September, brewing up our 5-song debut EP, Magnolia Street Volume 1.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street where the wisteria grow wild? At the house of magic and mystery, so would you go down to Magnolia Street?
If you want the inside scoop on our music and the stories behind each song, join our Rose tier on Patreon for just $8 a month and dive into exclusive content from our Song-i-Sodes. Plus, bonus content from our highly anticipated upcoming EP. On there, you'll find lyric sheets, original demos, behind-the-scenes videos from the studio, blog posts, production notes, and more. Don't miss out on the magic. Keep up to date with us on our Instagram at Magnolia Street Podcast for all of our music news and be a part of our musical journey. The Stinas are bringing practical magic to life, one song at a time, right here on Magnolia Street.
You dare go down to Magnolia Street. Magnolia Street. Sleepy town settled for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right, and it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
Is your mic plugged? Yeah, your mic's on.
Yeah, I'm in.
You just sound different to me. I haven't heard your voice in so long.
I know, what the hell? When did we record the last time?
We talked with Joseph last month.
Last month? That was like a week ago.
It was the 27th of June.
Technically, it was last month. We're in July now, July 2nd, and we're still talking about the damn solstice.
Just stretching out that content.
Listen, we made a rule, right? We made our rule. We have permission. We give ourselves permission to still celebrate the solstice. It is not Lunasa yet.
No, ma'am. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks.
There you go.
And then we're late.
We're still in prime solstice territory, so we're good.
We're still relevant. Hey, witch, hey.
Hey, witch, hey. I'm Justina.
I'm Christina. Welcome to Magnolia Street, where your one and only musically inspired Practical Magic Fandom podcast.
Every week, we deep dive on different aspects of the movie and the books, and if you've been listening from the very beginning, you guys would know that we, the Stinas, have written many Practical Magic-inspired original songs that every so often we share with you via these Song-i-Sodes. We actually started this podcast as a way for Christina and I to showcase some of this awesome music we've been writing that will help keep you immersed in the world of the Owens family in a more musical way, if that's your thing.
That's right, and if you guys have been keeping up with our musical journey, you've been able to see all the amazing things we've been able to manifest as a result of this podcast.
Yeah, we were able to connect with Plaid Dog Recording, which is a studio up in Boston that specializes in helping small artists just like us raise the funds to record professional radio-ready songs.
And once we decided that we wanted to work with them, things went relatively quickly. In September 2023, we went back up to Boston to record our first single, Magnolia Street, and within a very short week of getting that final mix back, we had launched our crowdfunding campaign, which ran through the end of October 2023.
Yeah, and you guys helped us raise $11,000 to get back into the studio to record 4 more songs, so we just want to send you all of our deepest gratitude for helping us do that.
Yeah, speaking of, we thought we would give you guys a little update on the status of our Plaid Dog project. So at this time, we have received our rough mixes for the rest of the songs. And for now, we have to go through those and see if there are any changes we want to make before we move forward to the mixing stage.
Yeah, it really is quite the process. So the next steps are finishing up the editing on the rough mixes, then it will go into mixing, mastering, and then we have to figure out our release plan if we want to get this album to you guys by this fall. This is why we are taking our summer hiatus, right? So this episode that you guys are listening to right now will be the last regular episode that we will be releasing until September. But don't fret, we won't be disappearing completely over the summer. We will have 2 special episodes coming out over the next 2 months, one in July and one in August, which will feature interviews with some of our dearest patrons.
And that's right. And some of you we have already interviewed, and we cannot wait for you guys to get to know some of our neighbors here on Magnolia Street. Our patrons have been such an amazing part of our podcasting journey. Not only have they helped us fund a portion of both our Boston trips to record our albums, they've also helped fund all of the perks that we are sending to all of our donors for our crowdfunding campaign as well.
And not to mention, they keep morale high around here. It just means so much to us that there are people out there that think this podcast is worth supporting. And we just want to let you guys know that every single dollar that you guys send our way goes right back into the podcast and our musical endeavors. Aside from the money we raise through our crowdfunding campaign to record our album, our patrons alone have helped us raise around a little over $1,600 over the past couple years, which has been so helpful to us for the reasons Christina just mentioned before.
Speaking of patrons, we have a couple of new neighbors that we would like to welcome to the block party here on Magnolia Street. We have Alex Clark, Tash Clark, and Paige Estep. And we also have a couple of new free members as well. Welcome Bex and Claire to Magnolia Street. You guys are awesome. We can't wait to get to know all of you, and thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we can't tell you how much your support means to us, which is why we will be releasing those 2 patron special episodes during our hiatus in July and August. We don't want to leave you guys hanging, right? Like, we know you guys are paying to be here, so we want to give you something while we're away, but we do need a little bit of a break. So we just want to show our appreciation to anyone supporting the podcast and just get to know you guys on a more personal level.
Yeah, and just a reminder to anyone who is a Lilac tier holder or higher, you're eligible for an interview to be featured on one of these patron special episodes. So if you are a Lilac, Rose, or Wisteria tier member and you would like to be on the show, DM us through our Instagram or email us at magnoliastreetpodcast@gmail.com to schedule your interview call with us. Time is running out, so call us as soon as you can. Let us know. And if you are a seedling or a lavender bud and you've been thinking of upgrading your membership for a while, this month might be a good time to do it because you get the extra added bonus of getting interviewed by us for the show. So get in on that while you can, because we really do want to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been really fun getting to chat with a few of our patrons so far, and they've been so great and supportive in our decision to take this hiatus, right? They're really looking out for our personal well-being, and it really warms our heart that they care about us and, just want to make sure that we're taking the time for ourselves and we're not burning out, and that really means a lot to us. And we know that we've kind of been a little overdue for this since the beginning of April.
We probably should have taken a little tiny break after season 1. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, God.
Sorry. We both said, oh, go ahead. No, I was going to say, like, after the studio, the second time, we probably should have taken a little hiatus because that was a whirlwind, right?
Yes, indeed.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think we both can agree that since we got back from the second Boston trip at the beginning of this past April 2024, it's been kind of hard to play catch up. So the past 2 or 3 episodes, it just feels like we've been flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, we were going pretty strong for a while there with having a bank of like a month's worth of episodes in the docket ready to fire off for release every Friday, right? And within the last month or so, we've really been working down to the wire. Like, our Summer Solstice episode that we released last week was a bit of a shit show behind the scenes, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like, we both tag team that episode and it was 2 of us working at once, but
plus Krista and Heather.
That's right. And we also had Krista helping us with the research, which she started on this episode probably like a month ago at this point. And Heather doing some of the back end, like admin stuff, getting our source links up and running. So
amazing.
Thank you to them for like really helping us pull this episode up by the bootstraps.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it was a little bit of a shit show. Like, even though it was 4 of us, all hands on deck at that point, but I was still even working on edits up until the stroke of midnight when it was supposed to air. And it was a tad late, but the awesome thing about our new episodes airing at midnight is that most of our audience isn't listening in until their morning commute to work the next morning. So I don't think many people noticed, unless you live in the southern hemisphere and like your midnight is like noon the next day. I don't think many people noticed that it didn't get posted until like closer to like
Right.
1 in the morning.
And some people don't even know if like our past episodes, we're able to go in and like, because we listen right after and we're like, oh, should we lower this? Should we take this out? And so those episodes in the past where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that sounds like shit, they might sound better. So go take a listen to those.
It might sound better now. Yeah, like the record scratches in our fan fiction. Christina was like, "Those overdoing it a little bit there with the record scratch," and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I agree." So I took those out. So I left a couple in just for like
Oh
drama.
no, I love where you left them.
Yeah,
I would have even been fine with like two or three or four in the very beginning. Like, but we can't get through a goddamn story without stopping.
I know.
So
Really,
it
it's
became a
really
lot.
obnoxious. So I wanted to highlight that, but you're absolutely right. It was a little too heavy on the record scratch, so I went back and took some of those out, most of those out. But episode was such a doozy to get out, and I feel like it's been harder to get these episodes out as we've been getting closer to our break. Like,
Yeah,
what?
I don't know how people do it who have jobs. Like
Right.
we don't do this full time. Justina's work hours this summer are crazy.
Yeah.
She's on deck all the time with her gigs. I
Yeah.
have side jobs along with my W-2 job. So it's just bananas.
Yeah. So this episode that you guys are listening to right now is being recorded Tuesday, July 2nd, and being edited together for this Friday's release. So we have slowly evolved into a quote week of last minute type of format, which is
Hell yeah.
great for the sake of relevancy and being more current with the time, but I think it's starting to give both of our Virgo risings a bit of anxiety.
I hate it. I hate
I
it so
hate it.
much.
I hate it too. Let's go back to what we were
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Not only will our hiatus be to focus on our music release plan, but we also really want to take a little time to regroup and use this time to also research brand new topics, batch record those topics, and edit new episodes for you guys. And we like to go back to having about a month's worth of material ready to go before it's due to be released.
Yeah, so with that being said, we will be back from our hiatus, hopefully refreshed and ready to close out season 2 with a bang, and we will resume releasing brand new episodes for you guys Friday, September 6th, which is the first Friday of September. So you guys will get about 8 more episodes of season 2 through September and October, and then we are moving into season 3 already. Is that not crazy?
My dude, that's nuts. Listen, I thought we would be doing this podcast for a while. Season 3 wasn't even in my like brainscape,
Yeah.
but then they dropped that bomb
Right?
of Practical Magic 2. And now I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life.
We can't stop now! We can't stop! Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. I think we could season 3, just like with the beginning of season 2, it's gonna maybe get a revamp. It's gonna get like a glow up
Yeah.
of sorts. We're going to keep getting better. So I hope everybody sticks around for the ride. And, I think Justina and I work really hard and we love having Heather and Krista on the team and they're volunteers. So we can't expect them to do this all the time, full time.
Right.
But I think what we've learned is season 3 will also have a break involved, a 2-month hiatus of some kind, probably at the end. What do you say? At the end of season 3. And then when we come back after hiatus, boom, season 4.
Yeah, I think it's probably a healthier way to go about things. Like, we were beasting it so hard, and like, when you first started out, you're so excited. You pick up a little momentum, you're like, I can't take a break now. The Practical Magic 2 news rolled out, and like, me and you were both rethinking the break. We're like, wait, but this news came out. How can we take a break now? But like, the more we thought about it, the more we're like, no, we need to take this break. We know the news is there, and more news is just going to keep coming out. The more stuff that, rolls out about this new movie. But I think maybe now would be the best time to take a break while there's kind of like this lull or calm before the storm,
Yes.
And then once more like the trailers start coming out and like more new, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Once all that stuff starts coming out, I think it's going to be pretty crazy for us.
Yeah, who knows? We might have an extra bonus ode over the summer. If anything else drops, we want to be covering it.
Of course.
So keep your ear to the ground and on Magnolia Street.
Yeah. One of our listeners, Claire_SB, wrote us a little message on Instagram and said, loving this episode. I think they were listening to the Summer Solstice episode. And she said, I love this. I'm listening to this while I cook and make dinner.
Oh,
She said, you guys are such good company to have in the background. Looking forward to your next Song-i-Sode release coming, which is this one, our Summer Solstice episode, or Summer Solstice Song-i-Sode. But she also says she can't wait for the release of our album online. She says it can't come soon enough. I'll be blasting it and telling everyone I know to go buy and download it because it'll carry us through until the second film comes out.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we're like, we're the sustenance. We're the little appetizer before that second movie, you know? So,
We're a little hors d'oeuvre. Very nice.
you're not French, la bohème magique.
Magic.
But she also asks us a question, though. She said, question, once the second film comes out, if you love it as much, if not more than the first, would you then write music inspired by the second film? We're probably at least 2 years away if it gets a 2026 fall release. So you're probably not even thinking that far ahead, but it could be magical. And I'm like, oh, you don't even know the can of worms that film is going to open as far as our inspirational well goes, you know?
Oh my God.
Oh, who knows what else we'll have to write about.
That's amazing. I can't even get my brain that far in the future. I
Right.
still don't believe it's happening. I still believe it's like the HBO show that like slid off the mountain, you know?
Yeah, like what the fuck happened with that? We'll never know. And we still don't know if that poster was a hoax. That we're all convinced it's real at this point because now it is real. So who the fuck knows? But here we are, and yeah, it's happening.
When it happens, it happens. I want them to deliver, and I am not good with patience. But
No.
this will be a good time to practice that for
Yeah.
sure. And I love that idea of expanding. I love writing lyrics with you, Jess. It's so fun, and your brain is your skill that you have honed over the years is amazing. I just love writing music with you.
Well, then you're gonna absolutely love this Song-i-Sode because I have a little surprise for you that we have not done in any other Song-i-Sode before.
Shut up. What are we doing?
I'm rubbing my scheming hands together.
I hate not being able to see you. Let's see if our cameras work.
Should we see if our cameras work? Okay. All right, let's put those back on for a little bit. Hopefully we don't glitch.
Oh, you're glitching.
Ah, fuck. Am I lagging? That fucking sucks. I don't know what's
This
going
is a first. Jess and I always look at each other when we record. And
Yeah.
for some reason, this very last episode, we got to turn our cameras off.
Yeah. It's like
Weird.
what do they say? We're going in blindly.
Going in blind.
Literally.
It's like radio. It's like I'm on the phone with you. We're in the 90s.
It's like you're watching Midsummer without the sound.
That should be your avatar picture. Just jumping off the cliff.
Oh my god.
Perpetual falling.
Oh my god. I can't. I still can't with that
The
movie.
episode was so fucking funny.
How
And
many
I'm disappointed.
times?
I've
How
listened to it twice. At
Oh.
least the fan fiction.
I was gonna say you listened to the entire episode twice. I
Oh,
listened to the fan fiction probably like 20 freaking times.
Oh my god.
I can't stop listening to it. I think it's hysterical. And maybe it's because I edited it together. I don't know. But like,
It is so good. That's why I was like, the day one, I was like cry laughing, marking you. And then day two, I was like cleaning, and I was like, I wish there was a visual of Billy Zane just poofing in to this bonfire solstice celebration. And you said you tried, but there was nothing could do it justice.
I did try with the AI, but I kind of revisited your idea, but like on the Shuffles app. So I have complete control over the imagery.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna have to finish that. I forgot I started it,
Yes.
but I'll have to finish that and post it on the Instagram.
I love when you're like, just picture us looking at Sally, looking at Billy, looking at Sally and Julian, looking at Billy.
I hope we're not the only ones that think we're this funny.
He's like, well, if you're going to include me in your podcast, I guess I'll have to play along.
I love that. I love that whole fan. I think that's the best fan fiction we've had yet.
I agree. Dude, I think we need a not a collaboration, compilation? Compilation
Oh,
of
yeah.
all of our stories in
Ooh.
can you imagine buying
Maybe
that in a bound book?
like a grimoire. Yeah,
And
like
we get Billy Zane to sign it.
one of those Grimm's fairy tale books with like the gold leaf
The
page.
beautiful leather.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
just our bullshit inside.
There's so much. We've covered what, I'm sorry to deviate, y'all, but I want to remember what we covered. Initially, it was their summer solstice, right?
It wasn't the
What
summer
was it?
solstice first. You generated one about Billy Zane dating or courting Jillian and Sally, and that's when we found
Oh,
out he was a time traveler.
okay. And then it was Rose popped in, right?
Yeah.
Rose was helping them defeat some kind of curse. And that's how the sapphire ended up where it ended up.
Yeah, and that's
Remember that one?
why Jack had to die, right? In the
Because he was
Titanic.
true love.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Rose is part of the Owens family and he was knocked off by the curse.
Yeah, that was part of the curse.
Oh my
So,
God. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it was the sun, or was there something in the middle?
I think there was a skyclad one. The one, yeah, that was the
Yeah.
first solstice fan fiction.
Okay. So that's three. So this past summer solstice was four.
Was it? Okay. All right. So maybe there are only four. All right.
Oh my gosh, I'm
If somebody
invested.
else remembers, let us know if we've done more than that. I think those are the only ones so far. But I think it would be cool, like aside from the patron specials in July and August, if maybe we want to edit together those fan fictions and just like release a compilation of the fan fictions.
Chronologically, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. 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 So if anybody wants all the fan fictions in one shot, they only have to listen to the one episode and like not have to sit through all
Maybe,
of our other bullshit.
dude, maybe that can be our yearly like bonus. Any fan fictions we do throughout the season, they get added to the bonus, and then they're all in like one little chunk over the summer,
Yeah.
and then they're all together.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
God, we're writing a book.
Ooh, and I have another idea. What if we can like write our patrons into some of these fan fictions?
Oh, fuck.
And maybe we could play out the fan fictions in your Sims world. Christina's having an aneurysm and I can't see her right now.
I'm so excited, dude. I have been working very hard.
I know you
The
have.
house is done.
I know.
But listen, my whatever that bullshit I did years ago does not hold a candle to what I have created. I have used like stills. I have watched the movie. I've used my replicas. I've used other people's replicas. It is like chef's kiss.
Oh.
Beautiful. The house is done. So what I'm gonna do, here's what I'm gonna do is we're going to start on the ground floor. I'm going to give our patrons the layout. I'm going to kind of blur the rooms and say, which room do you want to tour first? And we're going to go room by room, like all the little details. So we have the house, we have the Verbena Apothecary, we have Maria's cabin, and I just made the cemetery / Gallows Hill.
Okay.
And I thought there was something else. Oh, the pub, the Black Rabbit Inn.
Oh, nice. You made the Black Rabbit Inn. Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
gonna make Gary's B&B?
Yes. Yep. It's on there. I can't wait to share this with everybody. Okay. We got
Guys,
content. We
I
got
know.
stuff for you guys.
Guys, I haven't even seen this yet. I've only seen the teasers that Christina's been posting, so I actually don't. I'm in the dark too, so I'm excited to see all this stuff.
I want to live in this house so bad. So bad.
I
All
know.
right.
Yeah.
What do we got? You want to talk about the solstice?
Let's talk about our Song-i-Sode. Yeah. Today's song, titled Summer Solstice, is coming off the heels of last week's Summer Solstice Magick and Lore for Litha episode. We are actually 2 weeks right, post midsummer at this point. But this Song-i-Sode still falls within the confines of the Stinas official Sabbat celebration rule, which we agreed. You have until the next Sabbat to continue to celebrate the one that just passed. So, even though midsummer just passed, you should be able to continue to celebrate it guilt-free all the way up until August 1st, which is Lammas / Lunasa, and then it's time to move on, right? Then move the fuck on.
Turn that wheel.
Yeah, turn that spoke. So we are still in midsummer mode here on Magnolia Street. If you guys follow us on Instagram and TikTok, you may have seen us tease this song on the summer solstice, which was Thursday, June 20th. That evening, I had made a little photo collage of the aunts on my Shuffles app with some beautiful solstice imagery and some of their solstice quotes from the movie, and then I imported that into Canva, made a little animated collage, and put our scratch demo to it.
Mhm.
It was only a snippet of like the first chorus I added. Well, I posted that to our Insta, and I don't even think I tagged Alice in it. But while I was marcoing the Wisteria vine to show you guys the collage that I made, I got a notification that Alice liked it. And she reshared the song and collage to her stories.
Oh my God. That's the first song she's shared.
Right?
Oh.
I was just beside myself. I was like, it just made the solstice. That just made it all the more magical that Alice herself had, reshared it. So that evening, I also made the demo available in its entirety to our $8 Rose tier over on our Patreon. So if you guys are in fact Rose tier members or higher, you may have already heard this entire song with your early access advantage over on the Patreon. If not, and this is your first time hearing it, well, welcome here, and we can't wait to share this with you. So before we get into the song, I just want to say that this was the first year that I was able to listen to this song on the solstice, because we just wrote this song last year, and I listened to it as I sat around my bonfire with the magical strawberry full moon on the rise behind me, and I burned my yarrow besom, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful night. I was sipping my solstice wine, so...
You have the coolest fire pit.
The moons and the
like little
stars.
moons and stars. Yeah, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. If you guys want to see what my fire pit looks like, I think we got it at Home Depot, but I think only on the online store. I don't think they have it in the actual store. So you might have to order it online, but I could post that store link over on our source links if you want one of those for yourself. Because it is very witchy, I must say. Like, I love
It's
that.
the witchiest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was rusting, and it was like Avi actually just re-spray painted it, but there's a hole in the bottom because we've used it so much. He wanted to throw it away and get a new one. I was like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
no.
Don't touch my witchy cauldron, for sure.
Dude, that sounds like just a magical night. I really would love to spend a Sabbat or Esbat with you guys. You guys are so fun to party with, travel with, just hang out with. The little thumbnail in your Wisteria Vine Marco Polo day before, the little tiny thumbnail of Avi behind the wheel is so fucking funny. He's our Lee. He's our little support man. I appreciated that. But that Summer Solstice song, our Summer Solstice song, was stuck in my head for like 3 days. And I was so proud of this fucking song. And I remember when you sent it to me with like the drum track that you laid in it, I was like, oh fuck, this is cool. And then you had overlaid your harmonies and things like that. I was just so really proud of it. And I had listened to it quite a few times before I emailed it to my neighbors who are now in the mountains. They live up there during the summer. And as I've mentioned on this show, they are so supportive of the pagan path and anything organic and witchy and the solstices. And they were so sweet with their feedback of this song. So we went up to visit them. We had the bonfire going. These huge pine trees are all over, and you can hear like the deer in the woods.
Oh my God.
And Tom is like, I think it's time to put your Summer Solstice song on. I was like,
oh my God.
All right. So Clyde was like, I have not heard this yet. And so they put it on, and he comes back down, and he's like, my favorite part is when you say that and he was trying to get the line. He didn't get it exactly, but he said, you say something about the sun and the moon and you all being one. And we were listening, and Clyde's listening, and we're swaying along with it. And the line that you say is the earth, the air, the fire, and water.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like that we are one. I was like, this is what you're talking about, right? He was like, yes. That was he's a fan of that. So awesome. Yeah, we nailed it.
Awesome. Yeah. And we're going to get into all that in a little bit, like, the anthemic quality of this song. I just really wanted it to be a staple in every witch's life, for the Sabbath and especially the solstice, because it's just the one that packs the most punch, I feel like, So I can't wait to talk about this, and I can't wait to show you the demos and the little surprise that I have for you. So,
oh my God,
we're going to get into it. So
you can write lyrics. Anyone can write lyrics, poetry, a song. You're just putting your feelings down on the paper. But this Summer Solstice song and our All Hallows Eve song, I don't know how we embodied all those feelings, the vibes, the senses. All of your senses are ignited
Right.
these songs. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So are we gonna have to write an entire Wheel of the Year album? We've already done
Yes.
Hallows Eve. We've done Summer Solstice. What's next?
I'm fucking for it. So listen, in The Sims, I'm making the Wheel of the Year. So like when the
Ooh.
seasons change, they have to celebrate
Yeah.
the Yule and the Imbolc and all that good stuff.
Are you gonna make the Holly King and the Oak King, and they should be fighting
Have
all the
them
time,
roaming around town, fighting
fighting each other?
part of a fight club.
Oh my God. Can you please make a fight club for those two?
Yes. Oh, they're gonna be like beefy guys. Yeah, beefy Chads.
Chest puffing Chads. I love it. All
Cool.
right. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about our song of the day, our song du jour called Summer Solstice. So this song was inspired by the very short mention of the solstice celebration in the film, in which Aunt Franny and Jet want to take Kylie and Antonia because they got stuck on babysitting duty while Sally went to save the day with the whole Jillian and Jimmy situation. So Sally says, "Why can't you two just stay here?" And Aunt Frances goes, "We can't back out now. We're on the committee." Sally's like, "Fine, but I don't want them dancing naked under the full moon." Aunt Jet says, "Of course not, dear. The nudity is entirely optional, as you well remember." And it's such a short, very short and sweet mention of the summer solstice. But isn't it so much fun to envision what celebrating the summer solstice with Franny and Jet would be like? And if you guys listened to our episode last week all about the summer solstice, we actually revisited that scene. Not only did we rehash the timeline and whether or not Diane Wiest may have ad-libbed that line about the solstice, newsflash, she did not, and we were able to prove that in the last week's episode, so go check that out if that is of interest to you. But then also, we found a little breadcrumb in the scripts, right?
Yeah.
We always wondered where the aunts were taking not only Kylie and Antonia to celebrate the solstice that weekend, but obviously Sally and Jillian when they were little as well, because Aunt Jet says the nudity is entirely optional, as you well remember, alluding to Sally that she remembers celebrating the summer solstice with the aunts as a child as well. So where were they going all these years to celebrate the summer solstice? So in the scripts, we found the bit about the Berkshires, which we have deemed. Go ahead, Christina.
The Hamptons of witchcraft.
Yeah, we all need t-shirts now that say that, and we need to go to the Berkshires for the next solstice. So lots of revelations.
Wait,
Yeah.
idea. Shirt idea.
Oh.
Owen's retreat,
Ooh.
summer solstice, like retreat tea.
Ooh.
Okay. And then the tagline is the Berkshires, the Hamptons of witchcraft.
Done deal. Do it.
Okay.
All right, we'll get that up in
making
the
up fictitious events.
People are gonna be showing up to these things like, "What the hell, man? I thought this thing was going on," and then they're gonna be like, "What? Magnolia Street? What the hell's Magnolia Street? What's a Magnolia Street podcast?"
It's kind of like our first meet and greet in Salem.
Yeah, like that scene in Tenacious D where like it's just them and the counter clerk at the record store.
Yeah,
that's us. Yeah, so lots of revelations in last week's episode. So it's just crazy to me how the summer solstice is really such a small mention in the film, but in true Justina fashion, it just sent me spiraling. And it has given us not only endless content spanning over many of our podcast episodes, but it also gave us this very song here that we will be showcasing today. So this song was incepted on August 3rd, 2023. So almost a year ago at this point that we're recording this episode now.
And just outside that solstice bubble, Litha had just passed.
That's right. Yeah. So we were coming right off the heels of that. And this was probably one of the last or second to last songs that we have written for this project. Now, mind you guys listening, this is not the last Song-i-Sode that we're releasing. We have plenty more songs for you guys where that came from. We have not showcased a lot of our songs yet on this podcast. And we aren't going in order of how we wrote all of our songs at all. But we wanted to get this one to you guys this year to kind of coincide with the 2024 solstice because this was a special one, right? We had the summer solstice and the full strawberry moon happening simultaneously, which probably won't happen for another how many years?
Oh my God, like 30 maybe? I have no idea. The last one was 1986.
Yeah,
1985,
a while. Yeah. And not to mention, at that point, we were coming off of the high of the WB News and the announcement that Practical Magic 2 was actually happening. So there was just so much energy going on this June, right? That we really wanted to capture this moment in time and all of the excitement and energy that it exudes. And doing this Song-i-Sode at this time is kind of our way of celebrating that. So what you said before, I'm so super proud of this song, and I loved the process of this one because it was a little different than all of our other ones. I think out of all of our 20 plus songs that we have written at this point, it's the only one that I remember anyway that I actually have Marcos for, of both of us in an active songwriting session, like ping-ponging back and forth. Yeah, do you see where I'm going with this? And you'll see what I mean in a little bit. We're going to revisit those. So, going
We're gonna
back,
be Billy Zane. We're time traveling to the past.
we are time traveling today. So, going back to August 3rd, 2023, I started brainstorming ideas for this summer solstice song. I think the catalyst for me writing this song was around the time that we had just signed with Plaid Dog, I think, right?
Wow.
And we were really starting to consider what songs we were going to record with them if we had successfully completed our crowdfunding campaign. I mean, we did. We got that done, right? We did it. But at that time, it was still very fresh. A lot of unknown things floating around. $11,000 seemed like a mountain to climb. And we didn't know if that was actually possible.
Right. No, deep down inside, I knew we could do it. I knew we could do it. Like, because we had to do it.
Right.
It had to be done.
Yes. There was no choice, really. Like what you said, we had to get this done. This was pretty much the goal from the beginning, from the moment you texted me that very first day in February 2022, which will be the date that goes down in history. Like, we knew from that first song that we wrote together, the first batch of songs, we're like, okay, this needs to be in people's ears. Like, people, we need to get this out to the masses.
Yeah.
So it was really a personal, like, a goal of ours to make sure this gets done. And we got it done. So yeah, we didn't know if any of that was actually possible. So Christina, you and I had sat down and put all of our songs into a little table, right? It was probably the most Virgo rising thing that we could possibly do.
At the time,
yeah. We separated all of our songs into like 5 different EPs, and each EP had about like 5 songs on them. And we only had like 20 songs or so at that point. So I think we had some placeholders of some songs and topics that we might want to write about later down the line to fill out this chart. And we separated the EPs into tarot card themes. Remember that?
Yes. I think we should still do that.
Yeah.
Okay, if we don't do the tarot EPs, we have to incorporate it somehow. You and I have to come out with like an oracle deck, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so beautiful.
We could even write a whole album about the tarot.
In relation to the connection that we have here that you're going to tell us about.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, EP1 was the Fool. EP2 was the Empress, which was all about themes of sisterhood and the bond between Sally and Jillian. EP3 was the Lovers, all about the Amas Veritas love spell and the love between Gary and Sally. EP4 was The Devil, which were all Jimmy themed songs. And EP5 was The High Priestess, which was all about the aunts and songs that were inspired by them. And I think we also had like a couple like Maria inspired things on there as well. One of the tentative themes that we had on the aunts EP was the Grimoire. And we had it labeled BOS, like Book of Shadows. But again, some of the highlighted songs on this chart were tentative. So it kind of just jump-started my brain into thinking what other themes I could write about that were pertaining to the aunts. And my mind automatically went right to the summer solstice.
Yeah.
I think at that point, we had already released our Skyclad episode where we generated some fan fiction about what it would have been like to celebrate the solstice with the aunts because of that one line in the film, right? But we really took that and ran with it for that piece of fan fiction. So I wanted to expand on that and have a song in our catalog that could represent that scenario. So because we didn't actually get that scenario on the screen, I wanted to paint it lyrically and melodically.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. For this song, I want to say like 4 demos or so. All right, yeah. So yeah, I have 1, 2, 3. I have about 4 demos, and then the scratch that with like little bongo beat, and then I have that Marco Polo surprise for you.
Okay.
So I will talk about demo 1 first because this is basically the inception of the idea. So this demo was taken on August 3rd. 2023, and this was pertaining to the verse 1 and chorus. So it's kind of like roughly sketching it out.
Okay.
Fire.
Nice. Very similar to what we ended on.
Very close, right? There were a
Yeah.
couple things and like lyrical changes, and also I did a little flip-flop switcheroo thing, which I'll talk about in a little bit.
Hmm.
But let's go through the lyrics real quick for that first verse. So I say, fireflies light up the night, pour the wine, and let's dance the night away. Then the next part is summertime, sunny flowers sublime. And then it's kind of unclear, like I'm singing melody for the rest of that little part
Hmm.
until the chorus kicks in, which is this midsummer's eve, our silhouettes are sky clad, a wish on baby's breath, crowns in our hair. And then again, it's unclear, like I didn't really have the end of that little verse part there. So that's really all that I had there. The second half of the chorus in this demo is just a loose melody. I knew I wanted the hook to be Summer Solstice, but I didn't sing it here because I wasn't sure what the placement of the melody would be at this point just yet, because I knew it needed to be catchy, but I didn't want it to be too repetitive. I kind of wanted it to maintain that flowiness kind of throughout the entire chorus. So I was just kind of trying to melodically figure that out here. So
Okay.
that's basically the first demo. So we'll move on to demo number 2. And I think this is just me working on the chorus. And I think at this point I might have the chorus a little more fleshed out. So I'll play you demo number 2. This was recorded the same afternoon, August 3rd, 2023. And this is
Okay.
just the chorus. Summer Solstice Chorus. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
On this midsummer's eve, our silhouettes are sky-clad, a wish on baby's breath, crowns in our hair, 'cause it's the summer solstice, and we are all one with spirit, earth and water and fire and air, so we can't be late to celebrate the summer solstice.
Yeah, so I have things a little more fleshed out here for the most part. So the words here are on this midsummer's eve, our silhouettes are sky clad, a wish on baby's breath, crowns in our hair, 'cause it's the summer solstice. And here's Tom's favorite part, and we are all one with spirit, earth and water and fire and air, so we can't be late to celebrate the summer solstice.
Oh, it's so fucking good. It's so good.
So let's unpack these lyrics a little bit. So the awesome thing about the summer solstice is that there are a million and one ways to refer to it, as we learned in our summer solstice episode from last week. There's summer
Right.
solstice, midsummer's eve, midsummer, midsummer, like in Sweden, Litha, Litha, Lithe. There's a million ways to refer to it. So I really love how I had access to kind of play around with the different ways to incorporate those different ways to refer it without sounding too repetitive. I think my biggest
Yeah.
pet peeve in music is redundancy, and I try to be really conscious of that in my songwriting. So in the chorus, I start with this midsummer's eve instead of summer solstice, because I already say summer solstice at the end of the chorus, right? So it's just another little way to refer to it without sounding redundant. But it's also Midsummer's Eve, starting off the chorus that way, is also a callback to a lot of people's favorite Shakespearean tales, right? A Midsummer Night's Dream. And this song does have a little bit of a Renaissance fair kind of vibe, right? It's a waltz type of strum.
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, you gotta see it. You gotta put it on. It's so good.
I know.
So it's a waltz type of strum, so you can definitely get the vibe of like folks dressed in long, flowy garb, sipping their solstice wine. They might even have some fairy wings on, so it just totally paints the picture of Midsummer's Eve there.
Yeah.
The next line is, our silhouettes are sky-clad. So I had the imagery of figures dancing around a bonfire, and in magical terminology, as we know, sky-clad means in your birthday suit, aka butt naked, right?
Would you ever do that with a group?
Maybe with a group, but I think it would have to be like all women. I don't know if I feel like comfortable with dudes there,
Same.
For sure. And it would have to be like deep set into the woods where nobody can really see, like nobody has access to that, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be
Your
private.
trusted people only. Yeah.
Exactly. And if it's in like a magical sense, I think it would be more alluring, kind of like The Witch at the end of the
Yes. Yes,
You
yes,
know?
yes, yes, yes.
When Thomasin follows Black Phillip into the woods and
Yes.
like she sees that circle of them and she joins in and then she starts floating up to the sky and it's like, oh my God, I
That
want to
was
do
such
that.
a great ending.
I
Live
agree.
viciously.
Sometimes I
So good.
put that movie on just to see the ending. Right?
She's claiming her power. It's so cool.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so beautiful about, I guess, celebrating a solstice skyclad. But it does have to be with people that you entrust and you feel comfortable with and letting your guard down, right? Because it's all about that vulnerability.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really what it's all about. So I also loved how the word silhouette felt rolling off the tongue, and it just sounds like such a graceful
It's,
word, right?
I don't know if you've seen this video of a woman. She's like, these words would be beautiful baby names if not for the context. Silhouette would
Oh,
be a beautiful baby name.
right.
Cigarette, also beautiful.
Yeah, silhouette if it didn't mean like a shadow, right? I mean,
Right.
it's a beautiful word. I love it. And
Love
that
it.
paired with the imagery that you envision in your mind with how the word sounds sonically, I think it's a nice marriage between the two in like how you experience those lyrics with the melody and the chorus of the song. So the next lines are a wish on baby's breath, crowns in our hair. And that is a callback to the scene the morning that the aunts arrive back at the Owens residence in the taxi with Kylie and Antonia, and they all have their hair adorned with this beautiful baby's breath flowers. They're just such a delicate and beautiful, like, are they even a flower? I don't even know. They're just like little pops of like, what do you call it? Like confetti, like throughout your hair. And right.
Yes, that's a good word for them.
And they usually come in like dried form from florists or, craft stores. And Christina, remember the mess we made incorporating the baby's breath into our Franny and Jet photo shoot?
Avi's car, never the same.
Yeah, we did our shoot at the Black Veil shop in Salem. So shout out to them for letting us use the shop for this. I hope we didn't get too much baby's breath all over their floor.
Dude, that was a once in a lifetime. We had the whole place to ourselves.
We really did. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the best photo of us adorning our hair with the baby's breath in the reflection of Avi's car
The
windows.
car.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We'll post that photo over to the Patreon if you guys want to see that because it's just so funny. So yeah, this line in this song, "A wish on baby's breath, crowns in our hair," was just a reference to the baby's breath that the Owens ladies had in their hair when they arrived home from the summer solstice. So clearly, the floral crown making with the baby's breath is an integral part of the Owens solstice celebration. So I made sure to include that in the song. The next line is the halfway point of the chorus, so I thought it would be a good idea to mark that halfway point with the hook, just to get it implanted in the brain, in the ear holes. So I sing, "'Cause it's the summer solstice," and then there's a second half of the chorus now where I sing, "And we are all one with spirit." So I really wanted to incorporate the elements because I think that's an important part of any Sabbath celebration, not just the solstice, but I mean, this is the big one though. And they do say that spirit is the fifth element. Like if you look at a pentacle or a pentagram, you have the 5 points on the star, which are 4 points for the elements, earth, air, fire, water. But then that last remaining point, I think the one at the very top, right, represents the spirit. So saying that we are all one with spirit, I'm just saying that we are all a culmination of all of those elements together and also a culmination of like just being at one with everybody involved in this solstice celebration,
Yes,
right?
agreed. Yeah.
So then the last lines that make up the end of the chorus say, "So we can't be late to celebrate the summer solstice." The whole quote, "we can't be late," reminded me of the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland when he
Oh, cute. Yes.
rushing to his mad tea party, but also I really just wanted to rhyme with celebrate, so I thought it was cute and almost childlike and a whimsical way to carry us away and let our imaginations run wild with what this solstice celebration with the Owens ladies might possibly be like.
Right. Right. The aunts turn into children. They're like, no, no, no. We want to be there. We
Yeah.
want to represent. Like, we can't be late now, girls.
Right. And I can almost hear them kind of saying it, goofing around, like, "We can't be late, like, for a very important date," like the White Rabbit, right?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. They read Alice at that house.
100%. Yeah. So that was demo number 2. So now demo number 3, this demo is actually a cappella. So in demo number 1, I started the song off with "Fireflies Light Up the Night." And then in the second half of that verse, I come in with "Summertime." So in this reworked verse 1, I decided to flip it because in my mind, I was envisioning the scenes kind of play out. And sometimes, not all the time, I like to set up my songs kind of like a movie scene, like what's the play-by-play?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was picturing this song starting earlier in the day and then the prep leading up to the Midsummer's Eve bonfire celebrations that would be happening later that night, which would then be verse 2. So I'm going to show you the a cappella version that I have here, the reworked verse 1.
Summertime, sunny flowers sublime, spirit sweet divine, there's no backing out, now we're on the committee and fireflies light up the night, pour the strawberry wine and let's dance the night away. This midsummer's eve, our silhouettes are sky-clad, a wish on baby's breath, crowns in our hair, 'cause it's the summer solstice and we are all one with spirit, earth and water and fire and air. We can't be late to celebrate the summer solstice.
So that's the little switcheroo that I did. So yeah, in the first demo you guys heard, I had fireflies light up the night, pour the wine, and let's dance the night away. I had that first, and then second half of the verse was summertime, sunny flower sublime, spirits we divine, there's no backing out, now we're on the committee. So going back to why I made the switch, I wanted the song to open with a very clear picture of when this song is taking place, and I felt like you don't really get that from Fireflies. Like, I mean, you do get summer vibes when you think of Fireflies, but you also get nighttime. And I wanted to depict June in its heightened peak of a hot, sunny morning or day. So I thought it made more sense to start off the song, opening the scene, bam, summertime.
Sunflowers. Yes.
Right. Summertime. And the next line, sunny flower sublime. It just gave me like the sun card of the tarot kind of vibes.
Oh, totally.
Right? We've all seen that card. It's a sky-clad figure riding a horse with the sun shining behind them, and they're surrounded by sunflowers. And it also brought me back, in my mind, to the summer solstice of 2020 during the pandemic. Me and Avi planted sunflowers on the summer solstice, and those sunflowers just exploded. Like, they grew the height of my fence in like about a month, I want to say. And it was the most magical thing I had ever seen on my property, and like the world is falling to shit outside of our door, but like we were able to make magic in our own little bubble here, and that's the memory that I choose to take away from that year. So it's one of my favorite memories. I also vlogged about it, and in that vlog, the song that I chose for our sunflower planting montage was a song called Summertime by Michelle Branch. It's a beautiful song, and it's one of my favorite summertime songs. So here's just a sample of the first verse and chorus of the lyrics to her song, and the song is called Summertime. Her song says, "It's the time of year with things growing wild, love's found underneath the stars. Kids are playing in the backyard now, catching fireflies in a jar. I am sitting on my back porch and I'm wondering where you are, and if you look at the moon like I do, does it break your heart? Does it break your heart? When you think about me, do you remember to forget summertime? I go back there in my mind, kissing underneath the moonlight, discovering things we thought we'd never find. When I was yours and baby, you were mine. Summertime." Isn't that so practical magic coded?
That is beautiful. Yeah.
Have you ever heard this song?
No.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite songs. I just love that song so much, and we will add it to our Magnolia Street playlist if you guys want to listen to it. We'll also link it in our show notes. But yeah, I just loved how she was able to paint such a vivid lyrical picture that sparks the senses. You feel the heat of the summer sun. You feel the magic of the nature growing wild all around you, and you just feel the fireflies bringing the magic of the night to life.
Yeah.
And every time I listen to that song, I had like song envy. I'm like, I wish I wrote that song.
Exactly. I wish I did that first.
Yeah, so I put that on my song bucket list, that I wanted to write my own summertime song, but not even just like a summertime song. I wanted to write an anthem of sorts for anyone who lives a magical lifestyle, walks the magical path, I wanted them to be able to put the song on and have it get them in the total mood to celebrate their solstice. I want them to be able to blast this as they're doing their solstice prep, whether that's baking, cooking, building their bonfire, making their wine, whatever it may be. I wanted to write a song that really had them feel the warmth of the sun, giving them that summertime hug that we crave so much during the harsh winter time. And I know everybody down south is like, oh my god, fuck off.
Yeah.
They hate summer because it is pretty miserable, maybe where you are, but maybe further down south, right? But I know there's some pretty miserable days. I know you marco me sometimes like, oh my god, it's so fucking hot out today. I'm so cranky. But for us in the colder climates up on the East Coast during the winter time, it's so fucking cold that this is such a relief to finally not be freezing our fucking asses off.
Good. I'm so happy that
I'm gonna revel in it for a little bit. But
all right.
Anyway, back to the song. So to finish off that first verse, so I say summertime, sunny flowers sublime. In the first version that I did, I say spirits we divine. Initially, I had spirits we divine, but then I ended up changing that line to tonight we shall divine.
Oh, like a look ahead. I like that.
For a couple reasons. So after solidifying the chorus in the last demo, I used the word spirit in reference to the elements, right? So I didn't want to use spirit again in the verse because, again, I wanted to be conscious of that redundancy. I didn't want to use spirit in two parts of the song. Unless it was a chorus and then it had to repeat.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be in the verse.
Yeah, so I just like, I edit that out. And then number two, I think the first half of the verse has better impact by saying tonight we shall divine, kind of what you just said, to help set the stage a bit more, because this whole first verse is talking about the Solstice Celebration prep and what we're looking forward to later that night.
That buzz. Yeah. Everybody knows that buzz. You're so excited. You're setting up. You're getting all your tools together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting your wine all out and stuff.
Yeah.
Cutting your fruit,
your
right?
quote unquote tools.
Yeah, your tools, your kitchen knife, and your wine glass.
Wine opener. Yeah.
Exactly. So I kept the part about the divining though, because I loved envisioning the aunts and whatever group they're with communing with the spirits. And more so now that we have learned more info based on our Summer Solstice fanfiction, we have learned that Billy Zane crashed the party via time travel. So perhaps the divining that I mentioned in this verse is in fact alluding to the aunts summoning Billy Zane via the time portal to the Berkshires.
Mr. William Zane or the Sanderson sisters.
Sisters?
Sisters?
It's so fucking funny. Who knows? I mean, somehow we make it all make sense, right?
Make it make sense. Yeah.
So now the second half of this verse is veering more toward the start of the night. Now we're getting the fireflies. We're lighting up the night, right? The fireflies are setting the stage for what's about to go down. Now, in the initial demo, I just say pour the wine, but I wanted to flesh this out with a bit more details pertaining to this Sabbat and even the Esbit, or the moon celebrations on the Wheel of the Year. In June, we get the full strawberry moon. So I'm writing and I'm like, what kind of wine would the aunts be drinking? And I'm like, strawberry wine, of course. Duh. Also, I mentioned this in our solstice episode last week. The summer solstice was the very first Sabbat that I celebrated when I decided that I wanted to embark down the pagan path. And that year, I went strawberry picking at a strawberry farm, and in the gift shop, I bought myself a bottle of strawberry wine, and on the label, it said summer solstice. Summer solstice wine, right? And with that wine, I added some fruit, like a mixture of orange and some berries, and I added some sparkling water, and I sipped that at sunset in our local park as I did my little riverbank ritual.
Oh my God,
with
so magical.
a little Viking boat made out of popsicle sticks, and it was lovely. And I kept the cork and I dated it. So I feel like even though these songs were of course inspired by practical magic and the life of the Owenses, including these little details are what makes songwriting so personal to me. And I love that. So like it could be both things. It could be inspired by practical magic, but also have these little details that are very personal and, do reflect my own path. And, so
I can imagine you, because now that you have maybe taken on the tradition of taking that old yarrow off your broom, burning that and putting new yarrow on, go find that very first summer solstice cork and keep all the corks and like maybe hot glue like a string and tie them to your broom. So like you have all these dangly ass corks. Or
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I gotta find that cork. Dude, I don't even know where that would be. It probably got lost in the move because I did that when I was still living at my parents' house before I was married. That was the year that we were planning our wedding. So I don't even know where that would be.
That's okay.
in a little box somewhere. I don't know. I'll find it when I'm least expecting it. I'll be like, yes,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
found it.
It'll
And
be garden spells moment.
yeah, and Avi's gonna be like, "What'd you find?" I'll be like, "My cork from 2017." He's be like, "What the fuck are you
Not
talking about?
$20.
A cork? What?
Awesome.
You weirdo." But yeah. So instead of having just pour the wine, I had pour the strawberry wine and let's dance the night away, right? The let's dance the night away is that launch pad that shoots us off into the full celebration that is now full on happening in the chorus. Cause I kind of sing it in like an ascending kind of motions. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
let's dance the night away this. So it kind of brings me up to that high note I need to hit on the this.
Yes.
So yeah, it sets me up nicely to go into the chorus. So all of these demos were recorded on August 3rd, 2023. Up until this point, I formulated this idea for the song. I got verse 1 locked in, I got the chorus locked in. The song is halfway done at this point, and then the next day on August 4th, I sent you a Marco to show you the song idea, and you were at work cleaning. You loved what I was working on, and I guess you felt inspired at that moment to contribute ideas back and forth with me in real time.
Oh, damn.
And we may have done this for other songs, but this is the only song that I can remember ping-ponging ideas like this.
Oh my God. Wow.
So,
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you remember doing this?
No. I don't.
Okay, so I went back into our Marco history and I pulled our Marcos from that entire afternoon. So, okay, Christina, are you ready?
I think so.
Now,
Okay.
we're gonna do something a little different. We have never done this on a Song-i-Sode before.
Should I minimize my notes?
I mean, you can if you want to. Actually, there's nothing really to see as far as texts on the screen. We're gonna watch a video and react to it.
Oh my God. Well, it doesn't look like I have anything else on these notes to say, so I'm here. Do I need, okay, you're gonna share your screen?
We
Damn.
probably worked on this song for probably like an hour or so. So
I really hope my boss doesn't listen to this show.
so I took the good chunks and I edited it down to about 20 minutes of us literally writing the second verse
Oh my God.
and brainstorming concepts for the bridge.
Okay.
So, Christina, I present to you our writing session for Summer Solstice, verse 2, and I thought we could take a look back at how we worked together and do a little commentary. So, if at any point you want to say stop and like talk about like, what's going on the screen, feel free to, we could pause it whenever and just
All right.
laugh. Just take a laugh at, all the stuff that
The past.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it would be fun for our listeners as well to take a peek inside of our brains and how our brains work, and more importantly, how our brains work together, right?
Okay. Cool.
So we can pause and chit chat about the parts that we find amusing. I also, real quick before we start this, I want to point out that during these Marco Polo sessions, I'm in my very quiet office. Christina is very busy at work. She's in her car, she's eating granola bars, she's doing laundry, she's vacuuming. So if you're all wondering why things are so loud on Christina's
I'm
end,
so sorry.
it's because she's a busy little bee over there making the money, and Justina's over here just being a dead
We have different schedules.
writing songs. But like you were very like you were in it. Like, yeah, let's write verse 2.
Fucking love this song. Beautiful. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So let me set this up really quick. All right. What's up? I think the landscaper's finally fucked off. My phone's about to die, so I need to get my plug soon. I was fucking around with a new song, and maybe you want to throw a second verse on it. It's about the summer solstice. This one is also a waltz, but I made sure the chords were different, and the melody is super different than All Hallows Eve. Same kind of feel, but completely different sound. So, I didn't want them to be too similar. So here we go. This is...
There's no And this midsummer's eve, our silhouettes are sky-clad, a wish on baby's breath, crowns in our hair, 'cause it's the summer solstice, and we are all one with spirit, earth, and water, and fire, and air, so we can't be late to celebrate the summer solstice. So then, verse 2 is yours, if you want to put something there. I had like one word or like one little line for the beginning of it. I had, because I remember how we were like saying we wanted to write a song about the Book of Shadows. So since we don't have a song about the Book of Shadows yet, we could still write one. But I thought I'd put a little nod in here to the books. So I said, ancient tome, maiden, mother, and crone. And that's all I had. So if you want to elaborate on that a little bit, that's all I got. So this still needs the rest of that second verse and a bridge, and then this song is done. So if you have time, if you feel like writing, if you want to add to it, let me know. And again, there's no rush on this song, since this we have this listed as EP 5 if we ever get that far.
We got one down.
I just thought we can start working on filling out those other songs, you know, if things come to us.
Pause. We just made that Virgo rising chart of the 5 EPs, and I'm already like, if, you know...
Let's work on this one at the very end.
If we feel like, you know, if we want to start filling out those songs, we just did the chart, and I'm already, like, trying to fill out the songs. Oh my god.
Just, like, came to me yesterday, so I was like, ooh, I guess that fits on the ants whole spiel. So let me know what you think, and if you want to mess around with that verse at all. But that's what I got.
Very nice. I got some ideas. I got 8 ideas. Is that in our Evernote by chance? We'll start writing some things down, and I guess I'll just listen back to your Marco to kind of get the cadence of syllables. But I like it. It's perfect. My brain is going to, instead of ancient tome, maiden, mother, and crone. Again, I don't know your like the rest of it, but instead I'm thinking like step by step or side by side. Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. We step to and fro. The clothing is entirely optional. I don't know.
Optional. I'll fuck around with that. I like the side by side thing. What did you say? Something, maiden, mother, and crone. Side by side we go. Or step by step. Or I like side by side because it's kind of like they're dancing together. Side by side.
Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. And then I said
so impatient. I was like, bitch, listen.
Step to and fro, we dance to and fro. Something like that.
Alright, so side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. Did you say stepping to and fro? Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. Around the circle. Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. Sometimes I don't like songwriting. Sometimes I get stuck and I'm like, this sucks. What was the thing you said before? Something about nudity being entirely optional. That might be a cool line to like lead up into the second chorus.
It's so funny seeing it all clip together. Should we say the nudity or should we say clothing? I know they say nudity.
Can you say skyclad? Going skyclad is totally optional, or is that too much of a mouthful?
I say skyclad in the chorus already.
You look so bored at work.
It'd be redundant to put it twice because it's already in every chorus.
I don't know, you look
sleepy. Made my bed.
Fine. I'll work out the syllables and I guess the notes that I'm singing there. As far as context, maybe saying something before that, like cloaks and robes, or something like free of cloaks and robes, to lead up to like that line. It's just a reminder that the nudity is entirely optional. Like, you don't have to drop your cloaks. You could keep them on.
We might want to maybe not be so like kitschy about the song, because this would be a beautiful summery time thing. I just don't want it to sound like one of those songs that comes on Spotify that like is like super pagany. I don't know. So the cloaks and robes thing I think is a little too much. I want this to be something like you put on to get ready for your actual Litha celebration, you know? Or just has all those summertime feels that you were pulling out before. I don't know if there can be anything about fires. I think you have sunflowers in there. I'm having deja vu right now. I just need for this fucking stuff to dry.
Yeah, I don't know if I have bonfire in here yet. Maybe a bonfire?
I'm gonna pee myself.
Sabi-sabi-go, made a mother and crone. Home, anything with like O-M-E would also rhyme. Or like control, O-L would also rhyme. It doesn't have to be just O or own. It could be, you know, as long as the vowel is O, any syllable that it ends in would work as well.
I meant consonant.
So, sabi-sabi-go,
Got you.
mother and crone. Something,
We nailed it.
Or own. Anything like that would work too.
Yeah.
I think to and fro kind of sounds a little, like kitty. I don't know if I want to say to and fro. Yeah, I don't want this to sound kitschy either. Like, I want it to be a beautiful song. So I definitely want to use pretty wordage. I tried to like put in like all the keywords like for like summertime, sunflowers, fireflies, light up the night, wine, dancing, silhouettes, Midsummer's Eve is in there, skyclad is in there, flower crown, or the baby's breath, the crown's in our hair, spirit, all the elements are there. What else can we put in here? The maiden mother crone is there. What else can we put in here? The song is loaded with pagan.
You're having a crisis.
Poetry.
Yeah, it sounds so nice. I love the summer pagan vibe. Yeah, I'm trying to think of rhymey things like, I don't know. Are we focusing it on daytime? Is it nighttime? My mind just keeps going to alone. Like, tonight, just know you're never alone, or something like that. And on this path, you're never alone. Like, we are everywhere. You can always call us home, or you can always come home. Yeah, on this path, you're never alone. Something. We will be your home, or something. I don't know. R.I.P. that car.
The beginning of the song, I had it like daytime, but then like it shifts into night. So I say summertime, sunny flower sublime, and tonight we shall divine. There's no backing out because we're on the committee. So it kind of sets it up for like tonight, this is gonna go down. And then the next verse is fireflies, light up the night, pour the strawberry wine and let's dance the night away. And then that chorus. But yeah, I'm kind of picturing it like a nighttime bonfire kind of dance. I don't know. So, you are never alone works, but home is too rhymey because I have side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. The third line is okay for the O, but then the fourth line, it needs to be something else. So, side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone, na 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 oh, da na 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 na. So it's gotta have those syllables, so yeah.
Like, take up the fire and let it shine through you. Something like that. I don't know. Or embrace the fire and let it shine through you. Something like that.
What about side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. In darkness we are alone. And then the next line would be like something about the light and being together.
How about in the darkness we aren't alone? Can it be something like being the light in the dark, or being the... That's more midwinter though.
It's okay to use darkness, I think, because it's a nighttime thing. So maybe saying that the bonfire is the light that they're, you know. I like how you switched it to darkness we're not alone. In darkness we're not
Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. In darkness we're not alone.
And then that last line would be something about the firelight, not necessarily like the light. Or it could be sunlight. I don't know. I don't know! I don't fucking know. And then we still have another verse to write after that one. And then that last line would, the nudity is entirely optional, would shift into the chorus.
I'm thinking like, our hearts hold the fire.
Our hearts hold the fire, Our hearts hold the fire.
Our hearts are the fire. Embers spill through the air. Embers rise through the air. Our hearts are the embers that rise in the night.
It's not enough syllables. Our hearts are the embers that rise in the night, 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 rise in the night. It's not grabbing me. Is there anything else about the aunts and like their actual personalities?
And then you came through with a clincher lyric.
In the first verse, the very first verse, they kind of like slip in that little line, there's no backing now, now we're on the committee. So maybe something along those lines, like something that the aunts would say, maybe. What about this? Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. In darkness we're not alone. Together we are magical. Together we are magical? So for that next line, after together we are magical, what about any words that rhyme with bright or delight? Side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. In darkness we're not alone. Together we are magical. And then the next verse would be, I have the fires burning bright. What about something, something delight? I don't know what those words would be. The nudity is entirely optional. Then that will go back into the chorus. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that second chunk with like the fires burning bright, something, something delight, dressed in our tunics of white. Because I think tunic is like prettier than robe or cloak. It's not as kitschy, but it's still pretty. It's still like sounds like flowy and like a fire dance, like the spiral dance. Fires burning bright. Spiral dance delight? Spiral dancing delight? Spiral
Look at your brain.
delight.
It's working.
Let me know what you think about that. Spiral dancing delight. Dressed in our tunics of white. The nudity is entirely optional. If you like that, that would be verse 2. And now it still needs a bridge. So let me know your thoughts on the whole second chunk.
You said delight, and all I could think was to live deliciously.
What if we have Black Phillip hijack the bridge and then fuck the whole night? Like he just like sabotages this beautiful night and he just like fucks everybody up.
Derailed.
Black Phillip. Dude, again, I don't know if we need the tunics. I really like the melody you have. It does give me Renaissance fair vibes. Like you could definitely put the hammered dulcimer back there and it would be fucking sweet. I don't know about the tunics unless you want to like make it maybe more simple, like kicking off your sandals and grounding, or I don't know.
Okay. You don't think tunics are pretty? You don't like that? I wanted to do some kind of reference to clothing because then the next line is the nudity is entirely optional. So I want it to be relevant to, I want it to be in context with the line before it. I don't know if sandals has the same kind of feel. I don't know. Because I mean anybody could take their sandals off and it doesn't really count as nudity. So I want to put something there that kind of shows that like, yeah, we're all dressed, we have clothes on, and then the nudity is entirely optional.
It has to rhyme. What did you say? Tunics of white, so it has to end in like the I don't know how many syllables I get. Like something about like no matter what we wear, we're all the same inside. The nudity is entirely optional. Something, I don't know.
That's a lot of syllables. Whatever we wear, we're all the same inside. Oh, that's 11 syllables. We have dressed in our tunics of white. You have 7 syllables to play with there. And it's got to relate to clothing, and it's got to end in ite or I, like the I vowel sound.
Can you do like cast all your fears aside?
It doesn't have to do with clothing.
It doesn't have to do with clothing.
But I wanted it to do with clothing because then the next line is the nudity is entirely optional. So it's gotta be relevant.
We talked about in Skyclad the fear of being vulnerable.
It doesn't have to do with clothing. I have to go to the bathroom. Christina's crying. I'm crying.
I have to go to the bathroom because
Okay.
I'm gonna piss myself. It's so funny.
Do you want to take a beat?
Give me like 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time in Magnolia Street podcast history that we've had to pause because Christina is literally going to pee her pants. Oh my god. We will be right back. We are experiencing some technical difficulties.
I'm so sorry that you have to edit my cackling. Oh my god.
That is hysterical. Okay, so this is how me and Christina brainstorm and write and try to do anything creative together. Sometimes we argue and sometimes we disagree. And in the moment, it's very frustrating because like we were fighting for our own opinions, but looking back, it's hysterical, right?
We are an old married couple. Rewind that shit. What did I say?
Rewind. I'm gonna rewind it.
My stomach hurts.
Can you do like cast all your fears aside?
It doesn't have to do with clothing.
It doesn't have to do with clothing.
But I wanted it to do with clothing because then the next line is the nudity is entirely optional. So it's gotta be relevant.
We talked about in Skyclad the fear of being vulnerable. Cast all your fears aside because the clothing is entirely optional.
All right. How's this sound? And then once you clarified it, I was like, all right, I got you. Listen to this. Listen to this shit I'm about to throw down right now.
Bitch, shut up.
Fires burning bright, spiral dancing delight. Cast all your fears aside. The nudity is entirely optional.
There it is.
What do you think?
Damn.
I like it.
You got it, dude. Cast all your fears aside. Okay. You like the spiral dancing delight. The fire's burning bright. A spiral dance of delight. A spiral dance of delight. Cast all your fears aside. The nudity is entirely optional. You sing it like an emo kid. Entirely optional.
Oh my god, I love that. Entirely optional.
All right, man. I think we got a song. No, we still need a bridge. Let me fuck
Like, we're
around
done.
with some
No, we're not.
chords, and then we can write some wordage and figure out kind of like what we want to say in the bridge to kind of wrap up the message of the song.
I liked your idea, not necessarily like Black Phillip being in it, but what if it is like choosing to, I love that line, choosing to live deliciously, like the temptations, like giving into all the temptations that you deserve and not, what's the word I'm looking for? Negating yourself? What's the word I'm looking for? Restricting yourself? Not letting yourself have what you deserve. Denying yourself.
All right, so I'm gonna write down some keywords. How about like
Can I just say, work, Christina, is completely unhinged. Because you're just fucking pissed to be there.
Trying to multitask like my life depends on it. Ooh, Nelly. Damn, I had no patience.
Because your brain was working overtime. Not only did you have to vacuum and like do laundry and eat a granola bar, but like you had to fucking like think of song lyrics at the same time.
Okay, so in context, I am cleaning a former Presbyterian church while brainstorming pagan lyrics.
That is
The
amazing.
spirits there were not happy.
No, they were like mental block, creative block. Don't give her any lyrics.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Negating yourself. I mean, what did you say?
I don't know.
I don't even remember what
Restricting
you
yourself.
Yeah. That's so good.
What you deserve.
So now we're writing the bridge, right? Or brainstorming.
Some keywords. How about like uninhibited, free? Let's see. Let's look up some synonyms. Some synonyms. Unrestrained, unrepressed, reckless, carefree, unchecked, wild. Wild.
I like uninhibited. What if it was like a couple words that went along with uninhibited? Like uninhibited, something, 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 limitless, inhibited, limitless. Like the same, like the feel of those 3 syllables. Uninhibited, limitless, steal a kiss.
Fuck with this. Alright, so we have that verse.
Rapping.
Seriously, our silhouettes, our slide petalation, baby's breath, crowns in our hair, 'cause it's the summer solstice, and we all one in spirit, earth and water and fire and air. We can't be late to celebrate the summer solstice.
Then the bridge would change. Build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up.
You look like you're naked.
That's last chorus. This is, yeah, last chorus. Yes.
Those harmonies you put in are so beautiful.
End chords, but that's pretty much. What do you think of those bridge chords and how like build that up?
I liked how, I even liked the repetition of you saying build it up, build it up, build it up. If we could do something like that, because we kind of did that in the All Hallows Eve, like we climb, climb, climb. I like the repetition of that. It just makes me like, oh yeah, yeah. And also, how do you feel about like after we do these songs that we do like some of them we can recreate as like emo punk songs? For a select few audience, because it's just so fucking funny, and it just fits with that song for sure. It's so funny.
All right, let me rewatch that Marco because I just blacked out. I don't even know what the fuck I played. And let me check the chords out, and then we can write words to those chords.
Yeah, the uninhibitedness, like I don't remember what tense we're using as far, or like what person we're speaking in, like saying we. I think we're saying we. It could be like we are wild, we are wild, we are free, we are wild, or some shit like that. I don't know. Nice thing is we don't have to rush this one, but it is nice. It's gonna look so pleasing if all 5, I guess, EPs have 20 songs, because we keep saying we had 20, but I guess we didn't really have 20. We had more like 18, something like that. I think we were counting that Roses song I was toying around with, but we never really added that one because we already have a Roses song. I just thought it was a spooky and I liked it.
The end.
Whoa. That was so fun.
Yeah.
I
Revisiting history in the making.
We were like boom, 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 all engines firing.
Right? Yeah. It was pretty funny looking back.
Yeah.
All right. Let me shut my
But
video
you
off.
nailed it with all of my bullshit that I was not even giving you any constructive criticism. It's like uninhibited, wild, uninhibited.
But you were just like rapid firing, just shooting ideas at me like bullets, and I took all those
You were
bullets.
catching them in your teeth. You nailed it. That was great.
Yeah. Let's see, where are we at? Let's regroup here. So real quick, let's talk about those lyrics in verse 2, the ones that we just wrote together on that Marco Polo ping pong session.
Okay.
So I know we explained most of this in those sessions that you guys just heard us laughing at just now, but let's just review where they stand in their final form at this point in time when we finish working this session. The second verse that we came up with is once we came back in from the, I guess, the post-chorus, the post-first chorus. Now we come in with side by side we go, maiden, mother, and crone. In darkness, we're not alone. Because initially, remember, I said we are alone, and then you were like, no, let's do the we're not alone. And I was like, yes, that's better. In darkness, we're not alone. Together, we are magical. The fire's burning bright, a spiral dance of delight. Cast all your fears aside. The nudity is entirely optional.
It doesn't have to do with clothing. Yes, it does have to do with clothing.
That was so funny. I was laughing so hard editing that. Just like the way that we argue, but like, you know, it all comes together in the end.
It's a constructive brainstorm.
Exactly.
Oof.
And I mean, like, sometimes like one of us walks away pissed and then we have to like cool off and regroup and then we'll come back to it refreshed and like we'll nail it. Right? We'll nail it.
Yeah.
And that's just the part of the process. And you know, that's just
and that's what you guys feel. That's what you feel underneath that music is that fire. That spiral dance of delight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I wanted to acknowledge was my reasoning for including that line, a spiral dance of delight. I know it kind of seemed like a subconscious, like a stream of consciousness when like I was in the moment, but like thinking back to like where that even came from in my brain. So back when I celebrated my first Lammas in the summer of 2017, and I went to that lavender farm, and I was telling you guys about that in our lavender episode that we just did a few weeks ago. The woman, Adrian, who owns the farm, was telling me, you know, when I was there for that celebration, she was telling me about a book called The Spiral Dance by an author named Starhawk. Yeah, you've heard about? Have you
popular?
Read
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never read the book, but just here's a little bit about it. So, The Spiral Dance, A Rebirth of the Ancient Religion of the Great Goddess, is a book about neo-pagan beliefs and practices written by Starhawk. It was first published in 1979 with a second edition in 1989 and the third edition in 1999. It's a classic book on Wicca, modern witchcraft, spiritual feminism, the goddess movement, and ecofeminism. The spiral dance, also called the grapevine dance and the weaver's dance, is a traditional group dance practiced in neo-paganism in the United States, especially in feminist Wicca and the associated reclaiming movement. It is designed to emphasize community and rebirth and is also used to raise power in ritual. The spiral dance is a central ritual dance to reclaiming witches. The first spiral dance was performed in Berkeley, California, and was performed in a ritual intended to meld art, music, and politics, as well as to celebrate the publication of the Spiral Dance book by Starhawk. It's turned into a yearly ritual, although a large portion of the politics were removed for later versions of the ritual, and it currently exists as a Samhain celebration to honor the dead and celebrate rebirth. But really, you can use this, I guess, this dance in any kind of ritual to raise energy and raise power, right? Yeah. So the spiral dance usually involves a drumming group and a chant or song in addition to the dancers. And all members present hold hands and follow a leader in a counterclockwise motion using a grapevine step. As the leader comes near closing the circle, he or she whips around and begins moving clockwise while facing the rest of the dancers. By continuing this formation, every dancer in the line will eventually be face to face with every other dancer. In some close-knit circles where people are comfortable with the idea, a kiss is given to each person at the moment they pass each other in the dance. In some cases, kissing may be discouraged during large or public rituals due to disruptions of the rhythm of the dance. So I just thought that was so beautiful. beautiful. And in my mind, I could see the Owens women doing this beautiful ritualistic dance around this midsummer bonfire. And perhaps part of their committee responsibilities was leading this dance, maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah. So I thought that was just like a really cool little nugget to include there in our second verse. The spiral dance is just essential to any kind of energy raising ritual or Sabbat celebration.
Part of me also feels that this meetup, that we're on the committee, this gathering is also a / family reunion. So I feel like a lot of people, like the Maine Owenses are coming in, the Boston Owenses are going, it's the whole family.
Right. And do you think maybe Sally wants no part of it anymore is because she kind of shunned her magical side for like her entire adulthood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very possible. I like the idea of them like meeting up with the Maine's Owenses, right?
With the
Maine
fam.
Owens. Yeah, with the fam. Yeah, I just thought that was beautiful. So now that we got verse 2 locked and loaded, because me and Christina nailed that shit, it was time for me to revisit the bridge. And you were spitting those bullets at me for the bridge ideas, right? But we didn't really construct the bridge at that time. We only constructed the second verse. So I kind of took all those little nuggets and those little bridge ideas you were just shooting at me, and I collected them all. And with all of that bridge talk in our verse 2 sessions, there were a couple concepts that stay with me that you kind of threw at me that I kept in mind, in the back of my mind when I went back to construct the bridge. So those 3 things are: number 1, talking about being uninhibited and free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, and also you mentioned the word wild, and I was like, yes, I love the word wild.
Yeah.
And then you also said feeling like things are climbing, right? As far as, I guess, sonically, like how I build the vocals to reach that
crescendo.
Yeah, that crescendo. So I also kept that in mind. You said that you liked the feel of the climb that we had in All Hallows Eve, and I kind of wanted to emulate the same thing but not copy it exactly. So that was another thing. And then thirdly, Black Phillip.
Okay.
Black Phillip, right? We've got to add some Black Phillip in there.
Love it.
How are we going to add Black Phillip to this beautiful song, right?
Yeah.
But that's the question. So let's just read the lyrics that I came up with for the bridge, and then we'll chat a little bit more about them. So the lyrics that I came up with are: free as a bird, bound to emerge, with the wind in our wings. When was the last time you threw caution to the wind? The heat is rising, so let's fan the flames of freedom, 'cause tonight we are wild. And in between 'cause tonight and we are wild, there's little callback sections, because I'm like, 'cause tonight I have we are all witches. And when I hold out wild, then I say life is delicious. So that's the little Black Phillip nod there.
Little Black Phillip. Oh, he's so cute.
It's just a little line, but like that's our little nod to Black Phillip, right?
I love that.
So the feelings of freedom and being uninhibited. So what symbols come with freedom? Because that was one of the things that you wanted in that bridge. You were like uninhibitedness, freedom, wild, all that stuff. So I was thinking of symbols for freedom, and my mind went to birds because of their wings and the ability to fly at any moment's notice. And as we know in the books, both Maria and Franny have their connections to birds in the books. And then we also have that sparrow that represented every Midsummer's Eve when it would fly into the Owens house and they had to chase it out with a broom. So I really wanted to include the bird imagery. And you know what I noticed after we had recorded our Summer Solstice episode?
What?
I'm going to put my camera on real quick to show you, because you're going to be like, oh my God. So we talked about the sparrow in reference to the books, right? And all the sparrow symbolism. Look what's on the cover of my Midsummer book from Llewellyn Sabbath Essentials collection. Look.
Oh my God, a sparrow.
Sparrow with
Shut
the sunflowers.
up.
Yeah.
That's so... And sunflowers. Wow.
Yeah. Sparrows and sunflowers. And I combed through this book. I went to the index in the back, and I looked for sparrow. There's no sparrow. There's no sparrow listed here. There's a whole section. There's a whole bunch of like pages of birds and stuff. And I went to every one of those pages, and I did not find sparrow.
That is so weird. What a little Easter egg.
Right? Which is very strange because, I mean...
If there's nothing in the book, why would they pick that bird?
Right. They mention other kinds of birds, like specific kinds of birds, but not the sparrow.
Fucking
So
weird.
I just thought that was so strange.
It's super strange. I really love in these lyrics how you present the question. I love how you snuck a little question in there of like, when was the last time you threw caution to the wind? And I think that speaks to so many people subliminally.
Yeah.
Like it's almost dead in the middle of that bridge, which is basically almost the middle of the song.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, like when was the last time I embraced my inner child or I said fuck it? I really like that line a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, it's a nice reminder to all of us to just, go butt naked, sky-clad, and dance around a fire. Like maybe not
Show your taint to the moon.
like Christine likes to show her taint to the moon, but maybe not in a literal sense, right? But maybe even more figuratively, go do something that makes you feel free and
Mhm.
honor your inner child and the things that made you feel magical as a kid. Embrace
Yeah.
those things as an adult.
Yeah.
And it took me all through my 20s, like I neglected that whole part of myself. And I think a lot of us did, right? And then when
Yeah.
you reach your Saturn return and you enter your 30s, you're like, oh, that stuff can be cool again. And I don't have to feel like a freak for it because
Totally.
nobody's judging me. Fuck my peers. Like peers aren't even a thing anymore. Like,
Right. You're gonna find your tribe.
exactly. Exactly. And I know it's so cliche, like you don't vibe until you find your tribe, but it's true. It really is true. So yeah, thought that was super weird about the sparrow on the book. So now in our verse 2 Marco Polo sessions, I did this thing in the bridge which you really liked. I was doing some repetitive things saying I was kind of like joking around because I was in the moment. I was like, build it up, 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 build it up. Now, I didn't do that exact repetitive build because the whole song is so flowy, and I think something that repetitive and staccato would have been too aggressive for this. I wanted to keep it graceful,
Yeah.
so instead I built the vocal melody in a way that feels like it's climbing, especially when I sing, "The heat is rising, so let's fan the flame of freedom," because I start really low, right?
Yeah.
The heat
Yeah.
is rising, and by the end of that note, I'm like, I'm at the top of my range.
Mhm.
So I not only wanted you to feel that climb in the vocal, but also if you close your eyes, maybe you could even feel the heat of those bonfire flames on your face because I'm like screaming flames of freedom, right? It's
Yeah.
almost more immersive to pair the details of those events actually happening along with the build of the music and the vocals. And also by using the phrase fanning the flames, it shows that those feelings of freedom are getting stirred up and they're intensifying. And all of those
Mhm.
beings that are dancing sky-clad around that bonfire are probably now at this point totally in the zone, like maybe they're even in a meditative state listening to that drum in the circle. They're feeling 100% uninhibited, and they don't, maybe if people are watching they don't even care, right? Because they're so
Yeah.
in their zone and not caring. It's like dance like no one's watching, right?
That's right.
So they're dancing in their birthday suits and they don't feel an inch of guilt about it, as they should not, right? So
Right.
then, of course, you and I both wanted to incorporate the themes of Black Phillip. Who is Black Phillip? If anybody is not familiar with the movie The Witch, Black Phillip is a goat character from the movie who seduces the main character Thomasin at the end of the film. Not to spoil anything for anybody, I hope everybody saw this, but at the end of the film, her entire family basically perishes due to the rampant, quote, witchcraft that wreaks havoc on them throughout this film. So she's kind of like alone, but then she has this encounter with this goat that her family has as a pet, or like not a pet, but like a farm animal throughout the
Mhm.
whole film. And
But
then
is he a human at the end?
that's what like
Humanoid?
yeah, like I that's what it's they allude
You
to,
only see his like figure moving. You don't
or
see anything and you hear his voice and that's it.
it's very creepy, very creepy. But he asks her at the end, he goes, "Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?" Right? He like whispers it, very creepy. And by the way, this film takes place in the Puritan days, so this is sort of like temptation was strictly forbidden, right? But
Mhm.
I think in modern times, Black Phillip can be a reminder to us all that true freedom is saying F you to anyone trying to make us live within the confines of their own ideologies, and not only feeling free to say F you to those confines, but doing so without being made to feel guilty for it, for
Mhm.
living the lives that we choose. Only we get to say how we want to live our own lives. So, in the bridge, as it builds to its crescendo, I sing, "'Cause tonight we are wild." So that last like crescendo was, "'Cause tonight we are wild." And in between those two lines, "We are all witches, life is delicious." And
I
that's
love that so much.
that's
Beautiful, beautiful.
Black
Mhm.
Phillip's little stamp of approval on that. So I hold out wild to give that phrase its moment. And now in between, 'cause tonight and We Are Wild, I have background vocals there that sing We Are Witches, Life is Delicious, because we discussed that in our Marcos, like we wanted to include the Black Phillip, and also reiterate that guilt-free sense of freedom, whether that's pertaining to life choices. Yes, even if the choice is to dance naked, because as Jet said, the nudity is entirely optional. It's a choice.
Awesome.
You have that choice, right? So the post bridge, there's a little instrumental break here. After that big crescendo, it then drops down, and I fingerpick the beginning of the chorus in a softer manner, because I've said this in previous song-isodes, I love doing these like little soft breaks after huge crescendos to add a little more dynamic. And then halfway through that soft chorus break, it starts to pick back up. And then I do a sudden break, which signifies where a drum pickup would be. And you can usually tell that from like my guitar pick scratches on the strings before I jump back into playing the rhythm. So the last chorus is pretty much the same. So on August 6th, a few days later, I revisited that bridge with all of these new concepts in mind that we talked about in our Marcos, and I recorded the last demo for this. So I will let you listen to that right now. Summer Solstice Bridge. Solstice, raise a bird dancing man with the wind in the rays. So then in the final version of the song, there are two turnarounds at the very end of the song before I end the song on the hook line, which is that last Summer Solstice, and then that's the end. In those two turnarounds, I'm singing Summer Solstice as I sing it in each chorus, except in this finale chorus, in between each time I sing that, I sing some backup lines as well. The first one is, tonight we are fire. And then the next one is, tonight we are wild. So I say, tonight we are fire, tonight we are wild. And like in my mind, I'm kind of hearing this done in like a gang vocal kind of style, which is a group of vocalists singing in unison. And that's kind of what I'm envisioning giving this song that anthemic quality. And there's just something so empowering about a group of women singing together. And imagine a group of women singing tonight we are fire, tonight we are wild around a bonfire.
Oh, it gives me chills.
Just like but make you buzz with like energy. Yeah. But I love that this coda, or the end piece of the song rather, gave me an opportunity to get those gang vocals in, but also keep belting Summer Solstice a couple more times so that the listener walks away from the song still singing it. Right? And I wanted
like walking into the night.
Yeah, and I wanted to leave a lasting impression and cement it in your brain that this is the Summer Solstice anthem.
Yes. Yay! Round of applause.
And there you have it. It'll be on the Practical Magic 2 soundtrack. And we're going to match it.
2025.
2020. Yeah, who knows when this movie's going to come out. But that would be just so awesome. And the fact that Alice reposted this...
I know. It's amazing. We got to keep putting it out there. This is, I mean, we have through August. This song is so good. So let us know what you think of our music so far.
Yeah, what Christina said, if you guys like the song, be sure to head on over to the Patreon. If you guys are an $8 tier and up member, you may have already heard this demo in its entirety. Oh, we didn't. You know what we didn't do?
Play it live.
We didn't showcase the whole song. I'm not going to play it live. I'm going to play it, the bongo version.
Yes.
I think we're just going to play that because...
that one's really good.
It is really good. And even it's pretty good for just a demo.
I agree. And you got the little ghostly harmonies at the end too, which you can do live.
Yeah, I want everybody to hear the harmonies. So we're going to play you the demo in its most current state. And this is the last time I demoed the song. So the next time we record it will probably be when we're ready to do pre-production, when we're ready to actually record it. We don't have a date for that as of yet, but I do just want to say really quick, music video, I have a vision in my head of us. Okay, you're going to come back to Jersey. Okay.
We got to storyboard this out.
We're going to storyboard it out. We might not even need to. It might just be like a guerrilla filmed type deal.
Okay.
Of course, with permission from the property owner. But I'm envisioning in my mind, you come back to Jersey, we rent out the Mad Lavender Farm, and we get a bunch of friends, a bunch of ladies, and, men if they want to join too. And we're all dressed in white with our baby's breath flower crowns. Maybe Adrian could get a big old lavender bonfire going. Because I told you, right? I told you around dusk, those fireflies come out, and it's magical.
That's so magical.
It's magical. To be able to film a music video for this song there would it would mean the world. Honestly, I get teary-eyed thinking about it. It would be
beautiful. You're so cute.
It would be so beautiful. So that's in my mind. We'll manifest it. Maybe not right now, but I'm keeping it in my mind for when we are ready to give this song its, birth into the world. We'll do it up. We'll do it right for this song. It's
right on. All right.
This is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, it's
special.
Really high up there. Yeah, it's special.
So here it is, guys. The world debut. This is Summer Solstice right here on Magnolia Street.
You and up.
Hey, which hey. So I added the Summer Solstice to the Evernote. I also added the demo here. I added a little bit of like a little bongo drum track just to have some kind of beat on it. In the choruses, it doesn't match up as well, but it's just a demo. So let me know what you think if you want to listen to it again. And the lyrics are in the Evernote, so you could check out the lyrics to the bridge if it was hard to understand some of the lyrics and all the like background vocal stuff. Like all that stuff is in parentheses, so that would just be like background vocal stuff. But it's just like, good filler stuff to add in between all like the la-di-das and, belting and stuff. Anyway, so that's up, that's there. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you later. Good night.
Our head.
So that's it.
This song is so good. I have no more words about it.
All the feels. I know we've gushed about it for so long, and I'm glad to finally like show people for real.
Yes. No, I agree. We should do a Wheel of the Year Owens kind of related. What if they actually, oh my God, my brain is going a mile a minute. What if they actually show like a Sabbath or Espet like meet up in Practical Magic too?
That's what I'm hoping. Like, okay, here's my theory. Did you get my Marco that one day on the solstice when I marked you when I showed you guys the little the collage I made with the aunts? I am trying to manifest this idea in my head that they're going to do a callback to the mention of the summer solstice from the first movie and actually show the summer solstice in the second movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to use our song.
Oh my God. Today, I was imagining like what alternate Faith Hill song they would use, what alternate Harry Nilsson songs, Stevie Nicks songs they were going to use, like keep in the same vein, but just switch it up a little bit. I was listening to, Joni Mitchell. Same thing with Joni Mitchell. I was listening to her song California, and I'm like, oh my God, if they do a flashback of Jillian in California, perfect song.
My God. That would be a cool like mirror soundtrack type,
yes.
Right.
And her singing along with it.
Right. Yeah. I think it would be cool for them to do little callbacks, not necessarily try to recreate, but callbacks to those like little Easter egg callbacks to those scenes from the first one would be really cute.
Yeah, we want that.
Yeah, I just watched the Ghostbusters sequel with the new kids from Stranger Things or whatever.
Okay.
I was really worried because you never know how they're going to portray. It wasn't a reboot. It was an actual sequel. So they wrote like a whole storyline that spun off of the original Ghostbusters from the 80s.
Okay.
And you're always like, okay, is this gonna be good? Like, are they gonna do this justice? But it was done very well. Like, I really loved it.
Okay, good.
They brought back the old actors for the cameo.
That's what you want.
But it wasn't just a random, stupid, like, meaningless cameo. No, like, they had a part in the story, and they were an integral part of the story. And it was just beautiful how they did it. And
it can be done, Warner Brothers. It can be done.
It can be done. Not to say, like, Akiva Goldsman and, like, Denise Novi, not that they can't handle this shit, because they've done it once. They can create the magic again, I'm sure. But whoever wrote that Ghostbusters movie, that was pretty brilliant. Yeah. Yes. If they can do like that, then I think we'll be in good shape. Yeah.
All right.
Little callbacks to the original will be great, but not trying to recreate,
No. I have so many expectations. Just this song is so good. Thank you for finding all of those Marcos and putting them together. Justina did all the work for this. I just kind of had a breakdown on the sidelines, and she took this and put it all together. And we hope it curbs that craving, that summer craving for the rest of the summer until we're back in September, right? So we hope it sits well with you. We hope you like it.
I can't believe it's a little bittersweet. Like, it feels like we're closing the season, but we're not. Like, we still have like 2 months of a season left come September, but like going on a hiatus, it is like a little bittersweet. I hope you guys miss us next Friday because, we won't be releasing a new episode, but hopefully you guys can catch the patron specials, and me and Christina will try to get some of that fan fiction compilation done for you.
Oh my God.
You guys can at least have something from us. Maybe we'll even throw in a bullshit sode. Well, I don't know.
Absolutely. You know where to find us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Magnolia Street Podcast. You can email us, magnoliastreetpodcast@gmail.com. If there is a practical magic topic you want us to cover, Jess and I have a huge ongoing list, but please shoot these topics at us once you've caught up with everything. If it's not on the list, we will add it. You can join our Patreon under the free tier. Sometimes we put out public posts, but be sure to join $8 tier. You're going to get so much bang for your buck with our music. I think the Sims stuff is going to go over there when that world gets going. And that is just a great way for us to connect over on the Facebook and Discord. So if you would like to hear about those tiers, what you get, here is a little bit more information about our Patreon.
If you guys do want to support the podcast on Patreon, you can support us for as little as $1 a month. That's our seedling tier, and that gets you access to our patron-only polls where you get to weigh in on what topics you would like us to talk about next. It also gets you our monthly calendar so you can see what topics we have coming up for the month, and it also gets you a welcome shout out on the show. Our $3 Lavender Bud tier gets you our show notes for each episode in an aesthetically pleasing PDF, our after hours posts, if there's any extra tidbits or behind the scenes info pertaining to any of our episodes, we'll post those along with a blog post or extra photos, and access to our specially curated Spotify playlists. We have created playlists for our WMSR episodes as well as Production Dream playlists for each Song-i-Sode and more. Our $5 Lilac tier gets you access to our private Facebook community where we host a monthly live stream. Plus, you'll get access to our Discord server where we host our monthly watch parties. And also on the Discord, you can join in on the discussion with other Magnolia Street neighbors via the various interesting channels and threads. And then here's the $8 Rose tier. This gets you access to extra audio-visual content such as a once-a-month full-length video episode, unlimited bonus videos, uncut footage, cutting room floor footage, bloopers, outtakes, meditations, exclusive interviews, and old home videos from the vault, or spell or ritual videos, and more. It also gets you bonus content to coincide with our Song-i-Sodes, such as full-length demo streams of our original Practical Magic-inspired music, plus lyric sheets, guitar chords, and original scratch demos, or bonus video performances of our songs and more. Lastly, we have our $15 Wisteria Vine tier. Just like a twisting Wisteria Vine, there's a way for you to stay connected with us, the Stinas. In this tier, we invite you to join our private Marco Polo video messaging app. The app is totally free for both Android and iOS. Sign up with your phone number or email, and we will help you do the rest. This is a great way to chat with each other in a more intimate group setting, face-to-face via video recording. We love to show each other our pets, our gardens, or anything else you'd like to share. And just a reminder that the higher the tier you sign up under, the more rewards you get, because you get all of the rewards of the tiers below it. You can upgrade or downgrade or even cancel at any time. So to support the podcast, head to patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast.
Yeah, and there are additional ways to support us and our podcast that don't cost you any money. If you do listen on Spotify, please give us a star rating. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us a written review. We love sharing those on our Instagram. And if you're on Instagram, we would really appreciate any reposts or blurbs about our podcast. And make sure to tag us at Magnolia Street Podcast in your feed, posts, stories, and share us with your Practical Magic loving friends.
Yeah, if you guys want some cool ass merch, Christina's gonna try to get that Berkshire's t-shirt up in the store for you. If you want to confuse people and be like, oh, what's that event? And you're like, oh, you didn't know? The Berkshires is the Hamptons of witchcraft.
If the frog shirt was not confusing enough, the commoners shirt. I'm gonna get that for you for your birthday.
Yeah. So guys, head on over to our review section over on our Spotify and our Apple Podcasts. On Apple, you can leave us a written review, and on Spotify, you can leave us a star rating. I really wish Spotify had a better review system.
Yeah,
I wish they could let you leave written reviews, but who knows? Maybe one day they'll roll that out. But we appreciate you guys listening in, and definitely leave us a review. And you know where to find us. Like Christina said, we'll still be around on the social media. Maybe we'll do a live every now and then too, so you guys don't completely miss it.
Oh, I miss doing lives. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, we're going to miss you guys, but we'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll be back in September. So until then, is there anything else?
I think that's it for this song. Thank you guys. And we'll see you soon.
Until then, I'm Christina.
I'm Justina, and we'll see you next time.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street when the wisteria grow wild? At the house of magic and mystery, so would you go down to Magnolia Street?
Whoa, it's past your bedtime, lady.
I haven't eaten dinner.
Me
I had
either.
peanut butter toast and a granola bar today.
I had a limoncello LaCroix for dinner. Pew pew. Pew 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 pew.
Pew pew pew.